All right, folks, here we are the day after hunting season. Your sign is no fresher than right now, every time of the year, and this is when I start my scouting for the next season. Your food sources occasionally change, like crop fields, but the one thing you want to check on is your mass crop, which is your acorn crops in the middle of the summer, to make sure they're still good. I put a low impact on my hunting areas, and as you can see, there's a rub right there. We'll walk up here. What you're trying to do is establish a buck's core area where he's willing to travel in the daylight hours. And a lot of times it's in thick cover like this with sporadic rubs and scrapes. We have a field edge up here. It's a grown-up CRP field, and he's been marking his territory right in here because the bucks usually parallel the doe's travel area. And here's another rub. Now these aren't giant rubs, folks, but it's establishing a pattern that he's traveling through. And this is how I'm quite successful each season, is I get out right at the end of the hunting season, because the sign's no fresher than what's going to be right now. And as you can see, here's another rub. And actually, prior to this video, I actually walked out in the CRP field to see if there was anything, because occasionally in rifle season a deer or two get shot and it's in a remote location, and they go up there and they lay down in the CRP field. Well, I jumped the deer up. It wasn't hurt, but it was a buck, which means that now I'm trying to dissect where he spent most of his time here in the bow season, and maybe be able to get a chance at him here in the late season. Now this ain't like torn up with a lot of sign, but it's definitely marked up enough where it gives you a great starting point for the next season if this whitetail buck's actually still alive. And that's not a huge rub, but it's a pretty decent one. Like I said, what you're trying to do is establish these buck's core area in your deer, your whitetail's core area. A buck's not going to waste his time in here rubbing and scraping if there's no deer in here. I think the biggest mistake people make is hunting season's over, it's over. I think what you need to do is get out in some of these areas that you hunt. And we have fresh tracks in here, so the buck that I did jump up in the CRP field off to the left of this location, he actually came through here, and it's the day after gun season, and he was still up on his feet at some point this morning. Like I said, I wasn't all tore up with sign, but this gives me a great head start on 2016's archery season for next season. Maybe even a chance to harvest this 3-year-old buck on public ground in the late season, because he might be comfortable enough if he was still up moseying around this morning pre-dawn. And a week or so, when about 2 or 3 weeks when our late season comes back up, he might be comfortable enough to get up on his feet in daylight hours. And that's what you want to establish, their travel corridor and where they're spending most of their time. And that, I promise you, you'll become more successful if you do all your homework now, trying to put pieces of the puzzle together and get yourself in a good situation to start the season off. You might not be directly on that whitetail, and you might be, but this is putting pieces of the puzzle together so you are in the right place. You got the winds right, and you'll see more deer and harvest more deer this way. You do a little bit of work right now, it goes a long way for your next archery season. Like I always say, hunt hard, but hunt safe. This is Spaz 88.